Hello and welcome. All right, okay. This is
Let's go. Hello and
Alright.
welcome to the OK Podcast, No Man's Land, episode 2. Ollie, introduce our guest.
Today we have a very, very special episode, everyone.
Yep.
We have a pacifist located with the sweater, with the Adidas sweater, Benjamin Gale. He has
my whole
opinion
name.
of-
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate
yes, of
that a lot.
course.
Yeah, thank you.
With what is about to say, no, of course I need to say his full name. So yeah, we have the pacifist Ben, aka Gale. He is of the opinion that fighting is not good. So of course we decided to pair him up with an MMA fighter. To my right, we have Tarkin, a confirmed MMA fighter. Now, these differences of opinions, will they help or hinder this conversation? Let's start with Benjamin here. Let's start with Gale here. Do maybe run us through a quick rundown of your opinions, all right? What do you mean when we say pacifist? What's your background? You know, have you done any martial arts? What we looking at here, brother?
Yeah, so in terms of pacifist, I think it's pretty simple, right? Obviously, all sort of physical altercations and stuff that, not what we want in society. I do have a background in martial arts, so I've done Taekwondo and I'm still doing Taekwondo. Done it since I was about 10 or something like that, so close to over 10 years. And sort of through that experience I've had, like obviously we're doing self-defense stuff, real world application. But we've always found that like the best way to resolve those situations is just to get out, right? Not actually get involved in them, right? So in terms of me being a pacifist, it's just if we can all get along as a society, we don't have to. There needs to be no physical altercations and stuff like that. And whenever there is like that happening, it's not a good look on society. So it's pretty much just the basic rundown of it.
Yeah, no, that's
Good.
Very,
have
very
you ever faced aggression from others? And if so,
Yeah.
have you?
Yeah,
How did you deal with it?
Well, so it's obviously hard, right? Because if someone wants to have a fight with you, like if they're within sort of reaching distance, it's sort of hard to manage that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like
Right.
just try to ease things with words, and if that can't happen, you literally push the fuck out.
Yeah.
Is what I so that's what I did in that situation, right? So
right.
but
Interesting,
yeah, sometimes there's nothing you can do. But yeah, I was at the footy. I was at Anzac Day. And yeah.
Oh, so 2 days ago.
Is that
Yes,
that
a couple
happened
days
now?
ago.
Really?
Really? Or was that
Yeah,
recent?
literally. Like,
So can you tell us what exactly happened? What exactly happened? Why was he like so aggressive to you?
Yeah, so my dad was walking up the aisleway and I was behind him, and then this guy was kind of just like sat in the middle of the aisleway. And then dad's like talking shit because he's like in the way and we're trying to get out.
Right.
And then so the guy's probably this close to me, like to us. And then so I'm like, hey mate, just settle down. There's no need for this, right? He's had a couple bevs,
Yeah.
and my dad doesn't help because he just keeps talking shit.
I fucking love your dad.
Of course,
already.
mate,
So,
of
yeah.
course.
So yeah, so we had to we had to sort of settle him down. He couldn't settle. He kept going for my dad, so I literally I had to shove him, and then we both sort of dipped. That was about it. But
Right.
Yeah, okay.
That's a cool story. 2 days ago, and
it's
that day.
it's so funny
Hey,
that this podcast has happened after.
Does that happen like
Yeah.
do these things happen regularly at the footies? Because everyone's like, pretty
really.
hyped up, had a few
Yeah.
beers.
So not really, right? So a lot of like worst thing that'll happen is if like your team loses
Yeah.
and you're interacting with the other supporters and stuff, that's when it
Uh-huh.
sort of will get rowdy. But I've never seen it like in person that much. It was I don't know, it was weird. It was just a really weird situation. I wouldn't attribute it to like being a football game. It was just like this guy's just drunk as shit, and my dad just fucking he's an aggravator. He loves it, but yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, at the footy, not so much.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
it happens, but not too much to us.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's move on. That was a very, very good introduction. Thank you, Gale.
That was good. That was good.
Tarkin, run us through your opinions. So, obviously, you're an MMA fighter. Is there Is there anything that you'd like to say, and maybe differences of opinions to that, or do you just want to run us through just what your kind of moral guide is in terms of pacifism versus fighting?
Pacifism is great. I fucking can't even pronounce the word. It's so fucking great. It's great, as well, for a whole 10 seconds until you feel someone's fist going through your jaw. It's all fun and good. Like, it works until it doesn't.
Yeah,
And then
right.
all of a sudden, those people can't make it work
Mm.
and die.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
violence is necessary, you know? Like, if you are not capable, how are you going to survive? Because, like just a quick, easy game at the footy, all of a sudden he's getting himself into a little biff on the flats. Like, if you don't know what you're doing and he throws a punch, connects, you just go stand. Oh, I'm on the ground. Oh, I'm gonna fucking. What do I do?
Let me play devil's advocate here, right? A lot of these punches happen when you're unaware, though. So, like, even if you knew how to fight, do you reckon, like, knowing how to fight would necessarily stop you from being on the floor if you're unaware either way?
Learning martial arts is a lot more than just learning how to fight. It teaches you awareness and the ability to think under pressure and observe your surroundings.
Yeah.
When you're fight, you're not just looking at him. You have to look at where you are on the map, in the gym, on the street. You have to look around, have good spatial awareness. I have a story very much like Gail's. I was in Croydon, saw some guys following me. I was like, look, they look a bit suspicious. Kept following me, getting closer. I had a backpack on. One of them grabs my bag. And I'd been watching them for about a K. So I whipped around, punched him in the face, played basketball with his face off the fucking.
Is that necessary?
They ran. No.
Oh, that's good. That's necessary, mate. That's necessary.
One-on-one. These two mates stood there, not ready for fucking violence.
Yeah, right.
And they ran like little bitches, left their mate in a puddle.
Did they provoke you, or did you just do that because they were following you?
My bag, tried to rob me.
Oh, they tried to rob. Okay, no, that's warranted then. Yeah, that's fair.
And they learned a lesson.
Yeah.
And yeah, after that, I did run to the fucking PSOs at Croydon Station. Told him there's some guy in a fucking little pool of blood. Go sort it out. Jumped in a train, boogied. Like,
fuck, man.
If you're not capable of that, what are they going to do? Take your bag, ask for your phone and wallet. You say no.
So,
have you?
Gail, what do you think of that? Do you think that was necessary, or do you reckon that was overdoing it a little bit?
Necessary. The most amount of violence is the most necessary thing a man can do.
Gail, what are your thoughts on that?
That's a very barbaric way to. So I don't know. I don't know. What happened in the situation? Like I wasn't there, so I can't speak to Tarkin of what actually needed to happen.
But just going off what he said, basically.
Yeah, from what he said, I don't know. It seems like you've been watching him for a K. Like, did you have like in terms of diverting path, right? So they're a bit suspect. Was there any way that they was able to sort of like get out of their sort of like area of like focus or whatever? Like, because I'm sure, in my opinion, like if you're seeing something and they look a little bit suspect, like you want to make sure you're as far away from them as possible, so you're not a target of like their aggression. So
do that. You could run. You could boogie, give a little bit of a fucking head start, bang, you're gone. But then they wouldn't learn that stealing's bad and there's consequences to their action.
There's other ways to learn that, Tarkin. I think though, it's not necessarily just like, oh, you got to beat some guy up because he tried to fucking take your shoes or something like that. There's better ways to take that away from people, like take that mindset away from people.
No.
Any ways you suggest, Gail?
Not to be like super like that, but like find God, something like that. Like that, generally if you're a religious person, it doesn't have to be like necessarily what I believe in, but if you have a higher faith in something like that and you've got someone to guide you through life, the best way that is good, I think that generally steers people away from that sort of behavior.
I did my best in that situation to help him find God. I was going to give him a first-hand encounter.
No.
Fair enough.
Go
Fair enough.
see
No,
God
that's
for
fair, that's
himself.
fair. Bro found God. Bro didn't come back. Bro didn't come back. Bro stayed with God.
Tough.
So we
No, that's fair. But
First-hand experience, bruv.
no, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a very juvenile way to think of it, Tom.
Bro, the shorts.
think he's going to do?
Oh, that's gonna be.
Like,
Say-
they
say
no,
again?
yeah. Okay, fair enough. Fair
on
enough.
the or
Yeah.
send him back.
Right.
I didn't hear any of that.
Say
Well,
that again, Taco.
yeah.
They don't learn their lessons. If they did, there wouldn't be youth crime. It's
Do you
on the
think-
right.
Do you think that you attacking them probably helped them learn their lesson?
Well, I didn't attack them. They attacked me.
Sorry,
And then
defending yourself.
beat the fuck out of them. Like, the point is, I reckon he's going to think twice before trying to take someone's fucking back.
Do you think that's the best way to do it? Do you think that's your job, or do you think like to teach them a lesson? What?
You shouldn't be a vigilante, going Batman, just fucking kicking down some cunt's door and fucking void and fucking lighting up. But when the opportunity is presented to you to teach someone a lesson, you got to make sure they learn the lesson, not just have to consider it. Like that guy at the footy, he pushed him. He's going, oh, Tom pushed me. And the next fucking footy game, he's going to get drunk, get mad, push someone. They're going to fall down the stairs, crack their head open, and now they're dead.
Right.
But if you just like teaching him a lesson, maybe not footy because there's cops there, and that's probably not a good idea. But
I think the person in that situation, I'm not sure if that changes their mindset though. So generally they're gonna be like already like in like they want to do crime and they want to like beat people up and like take people's shit. It just means that they're gonna find other ways. They're gonna look at that and go, oh, I didn't have anything on me. My boys were fucking pussies and couldn't back me up. So now instead of now just resorting to their fists, they're gonna take like bring other shit to it. Like, there might be a knife, right? You might get into that, but that second guy comes through, he's got a knife right in the gut. And then now you've started something that potentially didn't even need to be like a thing. And so I don't know. I think like in terms of criminal activity and stuff, they're not going to just stop because of one bad experience. They're going to continue and they're going to elevate it, make it a bit worse, and then sort of like make their chances of getting away with people's shit a little bit higher. So
I kind of agree with you, Gail, because you're putting yourself in danger as well. What if the person Tarkin beat up, his mates weren't pussies, right? What if they actually came at you 3v1? What's your chances? Pretty low. You're gonna get yourself hurt in a way, I reckon.
you'd probably end up a little bit sore. But
Yeah.
as someone who has trained martial arts since I was 5 years old, I do 4 martial arts, like train every day.
That's true. But what if they had a weapon though? Three people on one.
3 people on one,
Yeah.
2 skinny brats in fucking 3 skinny Jordan.
Well,
Nothing.
next time, what if they're like fucking big, chunky, I don't know, old man coming at you?
What you learn in martial arts, fighting a range of people, is sometimes really doesn't matter if you don't have skill. Like a lot of these people who are committing crime, the young fellas, the old fellas, you're not going to find trained fighters there because martial arts teaches a respect for people. It teaches a respect and it gives you a community where you're not going to generally fall into those bad paths. If they did do martial arts, they had people teaching them what violence is, how to control violence. They're not going to be doing crime. You go to any martial arts club, a couple exceptions, you get like ones with bikies and all that. Like, you can't train with those cunts. They're scary cunts. Don't fight a bikie. But like, they're going to learn not to because they're going to get their fix somewhere else, Like, it's a rush fighting. It's a great feeling when you're winning a fight. Great feeling when you're losing a fight. You're learning. But afterwards, you don't have any animosity towards the guy. You don't have any real want to head out onto the streets and just dog shot someone because they looked at your missus the wrong way. You get it. But these cunts, they're walking around acting all big because they've never been put in their place. And it's easy to scare an old man with a fucking knife. It's hard to scare someone when you've been scared shitless by a smaller person at a fucking karate club. You're like, oh shit, they can beat the fuck out of me. You need to be humbled. And that's going to put you in your place.
Fair. Do you think that going into this next topic I really did want to talk about, this is very basically what you're talking about leading to. Do you think it's good for someone to like get maybe this isn't the right way of saying it, but do you think it's good for someone to like get hit in the head a couple times when they're like growing up, you know, do martial arts, you know, learn what it feels like to get like punched? Do you think that's good? What do you reckon, Gail?
Yeah, I'm not so, but I'll just refer to what's Tarkin's saying. That's absolutely correct, right? So if you learn a martial art, you not only you learn how to like the skill and stuff, but you also learn the respect, and it's a very it's a great way to actually learn very like good philosophical lessons as well, as opposed to just the physical sort of skill of fighting and that sort of thing. So yeah, no, absolutely. Like as I said before, I've trained martial arts for about 10 years since I was a kid as well, right? So I get definitely recommended. The getting hit stuff as well, like it might hurt at the start, but if you can get obviously you're not going to need to get in a fight anyway, right? But if you can like at least involve yourself in a martial art, absolutely. Like we as martial artists, I mean, I don't speak for Tarkin here, but I learned martial art and I improved. Like I understand sort of how all that sort of stuff works and like how to approach a situation so I don't get hurt and no one can get hurt, right? So that's how I look into it. So absolutely, yeah. If your head's in the right space, then absolutely martial art's a great way to like build yourself as a child. I can't speak for Tarkin here. He's just beating up people on the street because they looked at him funny. But
yeah, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, go for it, Tarkin. Hey, what do you got to say, mate?
Once you get hit in the head, you realise it's not that bad. Like,
can cause
really,
concussions.
Kids nowadays, the youth, I reckon they do need a bit of a hitting, like a little bit of a beating, because too many people are going through life not understanding real pain. Look at our generation. We're part of a bunch of pussies. Like, no better way to say it. Like, going through school, we all went to school together, going through fucking walking down the street. There are a lot of people walking around who don't understand what real pain is, don't understand the capability of humanity. They don't understand what can happen. You see a lot of people walking around the street in their phones and all that. If they knew what it was like to get punched, kicked, to the good fucking uppercut to the nutsack, like I doubt they would be just like that unaware of everything. You walk through the city, how many blokes do you see who couldn't lift up a fucking pencil, let alone their own fist to defend themselves? Like,
I don't know if that's the right way to teach kids, though. No, you can't teach kids by sort of physically beating them and stuff like that. Like you have to take a far more mental approach, right?
Sometimes you need to hit. I got hit as a kid, didn't like it at the time, but looking back, I was like, well, probably not the worst thing for me. Like, lucky kids.
Yeah, I just don't think that's the right way to do it, right? Because now you're like, if you obviously in like for you it's worked, right? Because like generally like lots of different people respond different ways. Obviously you've responded the way that like it's been intended, like from whoever was hitting you as a kid. But like yeah, other kids aren't going to respond the same way, right? So if you've got someone who's generally pretty shy and stuff like that, and they're getting it from their dad at home, like it's not going to come out the right way. Like a lot of kids in crime, like a lot of youths who are like criminals and stuff like that have like their upbringing's been literally sort of half what you described, right? And they've just not taken it correctly and they're taking it back out on the world as opposed to looking inside and like actually like figuring out what's going on, right? So I think that's the right way to do it at all time. Absolutely.
There's a difference between like an alcoholic dad rage beating where like you're leaving bloodied and bruised than I just said my first swear word, getting a smack in the ass. You know, like you don't need like
Yeah, that's
just show them that there's consequences to your actions. And unfortunately, nowadays, being sent to your bedroom really isn't a consequence. Like, it didn't work for me. I got fucking Legos under my bed. Well, I'm gonna spend in my room. I was sick. I get a plane with Legos. But like, oh no, I'm in trouble. Bang. Like, bang, lesson learned. Not doing that again. I don't want to get hit. And that's going to teach you a lot going into life. You're out and then you start arcing up to someone but you don't realize that you can get hit. There's consequences that can end you, like leave you getting really hurt. Like,
yeah, that's why you don't arc up in the first place, Tuck. Leave it alone. Don't have to be involved in that sort of stuff.
They get self-confidence. They do a little bit of cocaine, and all of a sudden they got a bit of fire in them. They got to learn that there is consequences to their act.
I don't think that's the right way though. Like they got to learn from the start that doing that sort of thing's not good, and cocaine's not going to help anyone, man. I don't think you shouldn't be doing cocaine on the street and then fucking going up to people and stuff like that. That's the worst thing you can do, Tuck.
Yeah, cocaine helped John Jones, so like.
Well, let me ask you a question, Gail. What do you think is the suitable consequence for someone doing something wrong? And they like your child, and they didn't even know it was wrong because they're still learning, they're still growing up.
Yeah, no, I agree. You need to like put your kids into line, right? Like as the best thing you can do as a father is to like and your mother and that sort of thing is not to be their friend, is to be like the person that they look up to
and guidance,
and the mentor type thing, right? So like if you're I personally don't think that like hitting kids and stuff like that's a great way to go, like physically, but like you sort of I don't know exactly because I don't have any experience, but I like from when I was a child, my dad used to stern talking to maybe grab my arm sort of thing, like and held me tight, like grabbed me. But it was a stern talking to, and it was there's reasons why what I'm doing is wrong, and he'd explain that very sternly, and he'd be like, if this ever happens again, there's going to be major sort of like issues and consequences and stuff, right? As a child, I don't want that to happen. Right?
So there's more verbal communication with your
those are like verbal consequences as well. So do you reckon those would work better than like violence?
Yeah, I think if we're resorting to violence, I think we're raising a good generation of children. Like especially like you mentioned, their kids are pussies, right? They are. I'll be fair with you, but I'll be honest. But like if we're raising an entire generation that way, like I think especially now that there's no like there's just sort of there's more outlets to commit crime and stuff like that. I think it's a lot easier back in like the 50s and stuff when that used to happen, like it made sort of sense, right? Because everyone went to church on Sunday. Like you get hit by your dad on Saturday night, and then you go to church with him on Sunday morning. But like it was less of a criminal sort of state that happened. Whereas now, like we're living all around crime. Like I'm in Adelaide. There's fucking brothels out the street, literally like all the way down the street. So you literally you don't have to look far to find crime. So I think if we're putting sort of bad ideas into our children, like it's literally will not take long, and then your whole society is taken away.
Yeah, but the generation that we're a part of didn't get hit as kids, and look how fucked we are. Like,
I think that's one extreme.
Looking at our generation, can you look me in the eyes, Gail, and tell us that we're good?
No, I agree. I agree with your point, right? But I think there's a whole lot more factors than just we didn't get hit as kids. Like there's a lot more things that sort of like parents do to allow their kids to run wild, and just be brats and stuff like that and be pussy.
I think social media is a big part as well to the
Agreed.
downfall of our generation.
Absolutely,
or like anything after.
You need fear of your dad. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely not.
You answered
Ollie, do you have anything in mind you want to ask?
Or no, that's fair. Like I think that with like I think you guys are both right. I think we can find some agreement in the fact that obviously our generation doesn't understand how life works. And look, you could make the argument that if no one understands how life works, then how life works changes, kind of. But that's besides the point. I think what the discrepancy is here that I'm seeing is that we both agree, or like you guys both agree that, yeah, like people nowadays our age don't have any, like, yeah, we're all kind of pussies, or like a lot of people in our generation are kind of pussies. I think what we don't agree on is how to make us not pussies. So is physical violence, that I think that is one extreme at least, right? If you if you're beating people,
a lot of different kinds of violence. You got to specify the type of violence.
It's all the same thing, type.
I think the approaches to reacting, how they react to violence is different. So like obviously Gail says he's gonna push them, run away. That's not, I don't like, that's not a pussy move. I would disagree with Tarkin. That's like, you have to be mentally strong to do that, because most people will put their pride first, right? And I gotta fight this guy, otherwise I'm not a man. Otherwise I'm a pussy. But you're strong mentally for running away and getting yourself out of danger. And then on the other hand, Tarkin is saying that if he encounters aggression, other people try to do something to him, first reaction is to put them in the spot and fucking beat the shit out of them. In a way, that's self-defense, but another way, you're obviously fucking hurting someone. And in a way, you're also putting yourself in danger.
What martial arts do you practice?
So I'm a first dan black belt in karate. Been doing that since I was 5. I've been doing kickboxing, martial arts. I've tried Muay Thai. I've done boxing. Do BJJ. Pretty new to that. Still learning. Yeah, I've tried a lot of them. At the moment, I'm consistently training karate, MMA, not Muay Thai, sorry, kickboxing.
Yeah.
And
so, in these martial arts, what I'm sure that they would mention, like real life altercations when you're in the street. Is what you do aligned with what they teach, or is it? Do you think it's different? So, what do they teach?
I think it's up to interpretation. The first thing you are taught that if there is the ability to be there, get out. Like you're putting yourself in an unnecessary risk being in the situation where there's a fight. If that might not necessarily mean like seeing someone sketchy and running, that just might mean you're out on a Saturday night, things are heating up, like you see people getting rowdy or see a bunch of like drugged up homeless people rolling around the streets looking for a fight, and like you might go home. Like
right.
You got to be like, again, aware of your surroundings, take in all the information and decide what's best for you. But this is really only covered in my karate classes. We're not really focusing on MMA. We're focusing more on the sport side of fighting for my other martial arts.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
In like our self-defense, it's if there is an altercation, if there is unescapable violence, and that is going to happen, it is better for you to live out the rest of your days in a jail cell than in a wooden box. We're young. We want to see the rest of our lives, Don't let someone else's failed excuse for one compromise your ability to see your family again. Because violence is necessary because you don't know when it's going to happen to you. And when it does happen to you, if you're not capable of it, you're just going to be a victim. You're going to be a little statistic. You're going to be on a current affair. Your mum's going to be crying, oh, he died. And it's better for your mum to be crying, saying, he died, but he took out 3 of them with him. Then, he died, he was just kicked on the floor by 20 dudes, Right. You got to be capable and ready. And like, for instance, like Gal and I are up in Adelaide at the moment. We're here for the Live Golf. We don't know like any of Adelaide. We've never been here before. It's all new to us. We don't know where the bad neighbourhoods are. We don't know where like anything is really. We think we might be on the equivalent of Chapel Street for Adelaide.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Right.
We're kind of lost. But that just means we got to consider our situation.
Yep.
We don't know who we are. We don't know what the people are like. We don't know what the crime is like. Maybe we don't go out and drink as much as we would in Melbourne. We're not comfortable. We don't know our way around. But we'll go out still, but stay a lot more aware.
Yeah.
Now, I might see that as like, nothing's going to happen to me. I'm just going to go shoot up some heroin in a fucking Portaloo. But like,
well, I think that's like part of what we can what we all agree with is that martial arts does teach you to be more aware. I think that's one of the good parts about it is that like you understand what you're going into in life, and so you're not just gonna do dumb shit. But with what karate was teaching you, like, do you think that example in Croydon, do you think that follows what like your karate like dojo teaches you with?
Yes, undoubtedly.
Do you undoubtedly think that you needed to exert violence in that situation 100%? Well, there was no risk involved.
There's always risk involved. There's risk involved in everything. I calculated the risk, and I decided that in this situation, I could let them have my bag.
Yeah.
I could give it to them, and maybe they won't try anything else. They won't ask for my phone, my wallet, or I could try keep my stuff, which to me was important.
Yeah.
A lot of money worth of stuff in my bag at the time. And I decided that the risk to me was minimal, and I thought in the moment I could take them.
Yeah.
And I was right. And I think violence was necessary then. Like, you hear a lot of like, in a street fight, don't throw the first punch. Don't. You have to wait till they punch you. Or you don't. I felt threatened. He grabbed my bag. I didn't know who he was. So I threw the first punch. I showed him he did something wrong.
What would you do in that situation, Gail?
Yeah, again, I just wouldn't have been like in terms of what we're taught in martial art, and Tucken said it very well. Like, you're taught to sort of understand your surroundings and know what's sort of going on, right? So if I'm in that situation, like, again, I can't speak for exactly what happened, but if I'm in that situation, I've got to get out of it before it even starts, right? So before like I can get in their range of focus. If I'm gone, then sort of like it's better, like, might miss the train, whatever. But like, I'd rather miss the train and be late 15 minutes than have to worry about hitting people, So
yeah, but like, do you think that like what you start running and then they start chasing you? I know they're faster than you. They catch you. Now, what are you going to do? You have to fight. There's like a situation where you're forced to fight. Are you capable of like turning your mind from like a nice friendly guy into a fucking killer? Like, are you capable of just like bang, you're on, and you're just ready to draw blood?
Yeah,
like,
again, I don't think that. Well, I don't think, again, like you mentioned it earlier, and I sort of let it slide, but I don't think the idea of like violence and fighting like is necessary. You said it earlier that fight violence is necessary. I just don't think that's sort of necessarily the way. Obviously, it's going to be like we're never going to have a 0% crime rate, but like in terms of like the idea that sort of fighting people is necessary, absolutely not. So like, if you can, like, if we're all taught like to be good people, obviously there's going to be people are going to fall through the cracks, but like, again, if you can find a way to not be involved, that's the best thing to do. And then, like, again, I can't speak for the situation, but yeah, you need to be able to train yourself to understand, to get out as quickly as possible, like before it even happens. So into like You just said it like it's nothing. Tuck, the violence is not the answer. It never is. It's never necessary. Like in any situation ever.
Like you're out. You've got a girl with you. It's late at night. You might take the wrong turn, dark alley. Guy jumps out. He's asking you for your wallet, your phone, and then he's like, "Oh, you know what? You leave." Grabs your missus. What are you doing? Like what are you doing? He starts like it's a real threat. What if he starts trying to rape your missus? Like what? You just gotta push him and run. You know?
Yeah. You,
He starts throwing violence. He's like, okay, I'm just gonna take her. I'm gonna do terrible stuff. Are you not gonna stand there and go, all right, I need to defend the people I love. I'm gonna put him on the ground and make sure that he isn't gonna hurt us anymore. I'm not saying kill him. I'm saying end the threat so that you
yeah.
can get out of there, call the cops and all that. Because like threats there, you can't call the police. Oh, someone's trying to rape my missus, and then they're not going to be there for like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, no, I agree, right? I agree, like in with what you're saying, but like again, I think the premise of like the actual situation is wrong there, right? Like as part of if I'm gonna be out with my missus or whatever like that, I'm not gonna be in some sort of um like lonely sort of like, you know what I mean? Like we're not going to be the only people around, right? Like I'm going to make sure we're in a very safe sort of like situation where none of that even has the opportunity to arise, right? Like where we're around people and stuff like that, like not being like overly stupid by going out like super late, like just alone to where we're vulnerable, right? Like you gotta stay in a position where you're not vulnerable.
But you're wrong because no matter where you are, you're always not in a safe situation.
What do you mean?
A couple of weeks ago, like there was a stabbing at a Westfield in the middle of the day. Then a couple of days later, a priest at a church got stabbed. Like, you're at church. You should be safe at church. You're in the house of God. But no, he wasn't safe. But then you're just doing your daily shop at Westfield, or you want some new shoes or like a nice suit or something, and then all of a sudden someone's stabbing you. You're going to tell me that there's no chance, like it's avoidable. Like violence will occur no matter where you are, no matter what time of day, and you got to be there ready to end that threat.
Yeah, no, for sure, absolutely. But like, yeah, like it seems very like obviously you have to make sure like get the weapon away from the person and make sure that they're like stable, but you don't have to beat their head on the fucking floor like you did with that bloke in Croydon. Again, there's two different ways to go about this situation, right? You can sort of diffuse it without using violence and stuff like that. Like if you're holding him down, if you've got like you might have someone else with you and stuff like that, and you sort of tackle him to the ground, get the weapon away from him, call the police, and sort of restrain him, right?
Have
And
you ever trained at all with a knife?
yes.
So you would understand that you can't just tackle someone with a
Yeah,
knife.
no, well, you have to be. Yeah, again, you have to be tricky, right? Like you have to get a hold of the hand and the arm and stuff like that. Yes, but like,
No, like,
yeah,
great demonstration of why you can't do that. Here's your
no,
tooth. Okay,
yeah,
someone's stabbing trying to stab his hand. You grabbed his hand.
yeah. Again, not a chance, mate. No, I
Okay,
don't know. I again, like I've never been in such a situation, right? And I like it's terrible atrocities happen every day, right? Like they're just unavoidable. But again, like I'd hope that our society's better than that. Like obviously it's not, but I'd hope that like if we teach that violence is not an answer, then maybe there's not going to be people to a higher rate that are going to go about like stabbing people, like in the name of like religion and like ISIS and shit like that, which has happened in the past in Australia.
it's a dirty world. It's a violent world. Like those people who are mentally fucked up enough to go stab people in a mall for funsies, that's not people you can change, no matter how peaceful and how many times you tell them violence isn't the answer, because they're not right in the head. And if they're not right in the head, they're going to end up like old mate with a bullet in his head. Like, what do you do? like you're gonna go sit him down and he's stabbing someone. Like, oh mate, calm down, it's all wrong.
No, obviously there are situations where that can happen, right? But sorry, continue. Yeah, you got nothing to say. That's what I fucking thought.
So, do you guys?
Yeah, sorry.
With like situations where they have a weapon, would even like, I feel like violence would be even less, like, I guess warranted there, no? Because
yeah, well,
as soon
I guess so.
yeah,
I agree. Yeah,
as soon as you start trying to fight them, unless you're carrying a weapon yourself, which is, I feel like then it's not really even about. I mean, it depends what weapon it is, but if it's a gun, like, it's not about skill. But like,
I agree. Yeah, but I think because Tarkin's talking more about it like in terms of a hypothetical where there's no sort of situation around it, like you got to sort of face it. But I do agree, right? Like obviously, it kind of sucks to be the guy who there's a guy stabbing people at a Westfield, and you happen to be the first guy, right? That's kind of it's kind of just unlucky, right?
Yeah.
But again, if you're in that, obviously. But if you're in that Westfield and like you see two stores over, some guy's wielding a knife like this and he's about to come at someone. Obviously, like if you were someone like, all right, let's just not go that way. Let's figure out. First of all, hopefully we can continue our shop without having to involve ourselves with him. But worst case, let's fuck out of here and we'll go somewhere else. Go to the other side of town or something like that. Or, somewhere else where you can still do your shop, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like if it's an avoidable situation, if you see something's going on, say something and get out, right? But like again, if it's an unavoidable situation, it's obviously very tough. Like it's just unlucky to be the guy who's stabbed first or who's approached first.
Yeah.
But the thing with that is like martial arts isn't just training with your fists. Yes, karate or karate do technically translates to wave the empty hand, but also that is interpreted in traditional Okinawan karate as using weapons as an extension of your hand. Now, karate weapons like that we use, your bow, so a fighting staff, your sticks, your kali, that's a Filipino martial art. They're just things you can pick up off the street. I can go find something and use it as a weapon, but I'm familiar enough with that kind of thing. A big fucking stick or a pole or something I can wield as a weapon because I've trained with sticks. This bloody can of cologne, chuck it out. But you got to know how to train with those things. I know how to fight with a knife because I've trained with a knife. You can't just pick up a knife and expect to be good and train with it. Like,
again, you say you have to be able to like figure out how to use that stuff. Is like why? Like why in what world does that need to like occur? Like if you're using like bottles of cologne or like I don't know, like my freaking protein powder as a weapon, like in what world is that like appropriate at all? I don't think that shit's necessary at all.
a world where people are going to try and hurt you, which is the world we live.
Yeah, well, again, like, why are you gonna use that sort of thing to hurt someone? Like, you shouldn't. There should be no need for hurting people at all.
But no matter how much you think there's no need, the need arises, and then all of a sudden you spent your whole life in bubble wrap. And then,
it's a very extreme world where that happens. I think
it's our world. Our world's extreme.
I think what we can probably both agree on and what we're kind of stuck on here is that there ultimately, whether we like it or not, there is a percentage of times where violence can't be avoided. Even though you have basically what you have control of and what you don't have control of. You have I would say you have some form of control in altering that percentage yourself. So let's say naturally there's a 10%, just for the sake of the argument, there's a 10% chance violence will occur in let's say, I don't even know, like a given situation, right? If you act a certain way, you can reduce that percentage to, let's say, 7 or 6%, right? But
yeah.
I think what the discrepancy is here is, I feel like, Gail, you're kind of saying you can reduce that discrepancy to 0%, which isn't really possible. And Tarkin, you're not reducing that discrepancy enough, is what I'm getting from this.
Tarkin's elevating it, I believe. He wants to like 100%. I think that's where we go wrong here. Like, I think your mindset, his mindset's to actually aggravate aggravate it and sort of be the one to start it.
Bro,
But
you
I
nearly
think,
killed me on Thursday, bro. I'm gonna roll the clip right now, bro. I'm rolling the clip in post-production, mate. The barrel, bro.
but yeah, I think you can finish it without like without it starting at all. Like if you're aware enough, there's no need for any of that to happen.
Yeah.
Well, can I just say, if we were to, we all agree on that in the world we live in, violence is unavoidable, right? Like Ollie said, there's always a certain percentage chance that it occurs. But what do both of you think in how we can reduce violence as a whole society? So, how do we teach the younger generations? What message do we tell them? What do they need to do to learn, instead of just hearing violence is not the answer, to actually learn that, you know, that you shouldn't be doing it, and to reduce the crime rate?
Teaching them how to control violence, because
And how do you do that?
violence, we're as a species, we're predators. Okay, you can't just, no matter how far removed we are from cavemen and all that, in our DNA, we are predators. Like, that's who we are, especially men. Like
Yeah,
women,
we're not predators against each other though. We're predators against like cows and shit.
we are predators, like, against each other. The entirety of history has been war. Okay, so it's so far in our nature that we need an outlet to, like, get rid of our urges of violence, whether that be watching the UFC, boxing, like competing in fighting yourself. Look at footy. Footy is a pretty violent sport. Like, saw a guy get knocked out the other week at a local game. It's
I get like you're very true, right? But you're comparing now footy to like two blood sports almost. Like when you're playing footy, it's a hotly contested, intense contest, right? Like you're there to win the ball. You're not there to like knock some dude's jaw to the other side of the freaking ground, right? Like that's not the goal. Whereas for you mentioned UFC and boxing. Your goal is to like absolutely destroy someone. I saw a Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje. Their fight was like they're already fighting for 24 minutes, and then the guy points to the ground, doing all of that. No need for like any of that. Like I understand the sport of martial art and stuff, but when you're talking about like blood sport as competition, I think that's a bit like like I compare it to footy, right? As violent as it is, it's not really right. You're there to win the ball. You're there to take the like tackle the guy to the ground safely, to get the ball right. So like as an outlet, that's a great outlet, right? Because you're using you're in a team environment. You all sort of respect each other. You respect the grind for to winning the game. But for something like UFC, you're willingly like hitting people in order to kill them, basically, right? You're trying to knock them out. You're trying to choke them out, that sort of thing. I think that's far removed in terms of like an outlet.
there's a reason boxing is considered the sweet science. There's a reason the most intense competition
Yeah, by
on
barbarians it is.
fighting. Like it doesn't get more extreme than that. And that's the whole point of the sport, is that in the end of the day, it's just two humans fighting each other. Like, that's why it's a greatest sport. There is nowhere else for it to go. You look at a footy game, the guys are running around for hours, tackling each other, winning, and then still get up and they try to get in a biff. They still throw fists every now and then. Like, it's because
but again, that's different. That's sorry, go. You did be.
Yeah, fucking, that's right. People want to. People need to fight, and they want to fight instinctively. They want to fight.
No, the biffos that go on like during games is a bit different. Right? That's just like male testosterone, like sort of getting a hold of the person's sort of like mental state, right? And they're not really fighting. They're like grabbing each other's jumpers and doing this sort of stuff. Fighting. Like when we're talking about, but like that's just like two intense like alpha males, like people alpha males sort of going at it and just like they got extra like sort of baggage and shit going on, but they're not like fighting each other. Like that's the difference. That's completely difference between that and the UFC.
Two people locked in a cage mutually fighting each other. Like, it's a free world. People can do what they want.
I better put
reason it is a massive sport. There's a reason that it sells out arenas around the world. It sells out, like, you go to a pub and you can't find a room to stand because people want to watch it, because people need the outlet of violence. People need and want to watch it because in
Do you
deep
think
down,
that's innate, or do you think we can get rid of that?
get rid of what? Violence?
That need to fight.
No. If we're all little pussies eating lettuce and cabbage and
Well,
all that.
let me jump in. I actually do think Tarkin's right that
I agree,
we as humans, like you said, we're predators. There's always like it's in our DNA to want to fight and be violent in a way almost. But the question is now, what's the solution to reducing it? Because we can never get rid of it. Then how do we control? Like Tarkin, you said, how we reduce it is by controlling it. But how do we teach people to control it?
Yeah, I think that the idea of an outlet, like, it sort of makes sense, right? But I think the application of your outlet was a bit incorrect. So that was my sort of idea there. But to reduce it, we gotta teach people like like, I think the world's lost a level of sort of respect for humanity and stuff like that. Like we're all sort of like pagans out here, like just running amok for like living selfishly, like for ourselves, like kicking people while they're down just to get ourselves, a promotion or something like that. Like the whole idea of our society, I like in terms of like I'm not like a boo capitalism kind of person, right? But like I think the idea to step on someone's throat just to get up is like not the right sort of the way our society should sort of be running and stuff like that, and that trickles all the way down. Yeah, so I think like if we have a respect for one another, living selflessly, living for others as opposed to for yourself, I think that like if we sort of have that mindset instilled in like our youth and stuff like that, I think it'll be a lot easier to reduce violence and stuff. You're always going to have people who are going to rebel and stuff like that and resort to violence. But I think in terms of reducing it, we have to like it's a mindset change. So I think that's what's going on. I'm not a historian by any means, but I believe that's what's going on. Where we've taken God out of schools and stuff. We never really had it in Australia, but in America they've taken God out of schools. We're have an over reliance on like I'm smart because God can't be real. I'm smarter than the average Christian sort of thing. So I think that whole mindset of living for yourself as opposed to for others is what has it makes our children resort to that sort of thing.
I know this is a bit off topic, but do you think you need God to teach that, or do you think we can kind of insert those moral values? You can hold these values without believing in God.
That's a good point. Yeah. Again, any sort of like system where you can live selflessly is a good one. Like God's just a good application of it, and it's been around for thousands of years.
I think it's just the teaching and morals of the Bible and Jesus.
Whether God is philosophies. Real or not, I do agree that the teaching. 100%.
Yeah, in terms of philosophically, I think that like it doesn't have to be through God and stuff, but if that
God a path to non-violence, because God has been used as an excuse for violence. The Crusades, holy wars, even in the Bible, God does some pretty fucked up shit. Like look at the story of Noah's Ark. He floods the earth, kills everybody except for like a couple blokes and a couple animals. Like everything dead, gone.
Yeah, I think
violence. That right there, like mass genocide on a global scale. And you're going to tell me?
Oh, let's say how we define violence. Would you call nature is violent?
Yes.
Like natural disaster kills people every day, so something that kills people will be violent.
Yeah,
how we're defining it, or hurts people.
Life is violent. Look at you ever seen the Instagram page? Nature is metal.
No. Why? What's that?
Post videos of like lions hunting. There's like a zebra with its freaking hide just torn off.
Yeah.
Like,
I think I've seen reels of it.
That's nature. Like you're trying to take nature out of humans. Like we're so far removed from our own like food cycle, where our own food comes from. Like, you go to Woolies, you buy a steak. You don't know where that came from. That came from violence.
It's like, would you hunt for that if you?
Like, I don't hunt. I would like to go hunting.
Mm.
It looks like fun. It looks like a great experience.
Mm.
But we're that far removed that we can't even get our own food nowadays.
Yeah.
And just expect it to be there and don't acknowledge that came through violence. Like, I know you, Gal. I know you like a steak. Something died. It was killed for you.
Yeah, no. So all that comes down to like in terms of human on human violence is where I disagree. But like that's the way that we have lived as a species, right? Like there are going to people who say, oh, we've evolved to be able to not eat meat. It's a lot of crap in my opinion. Like that sort of like nature is how we sort of grow, like how we can be our best people. I just want to. Sorry, I'm going back to what we said earlier, because what you said about the Noah's Ark was really fucking ignorant and dumb. You're a stupid man. So in terms of the Noah's Ark, yes, he flooded the earth and stuff like that. But in terms of like violence, yeah. But God's whole intention for that wasn't just to be like, oh, look at me, I'm this violent, like fear me sort of thing. Like he did that out of love and respect for the world and stuff like that. He saw the world that he created, and it wasn't an image that he wanted. And his last only resort was to do that. And then after that, he delivered what's called the rainbow apology. So he goes, I don't know the quote, just got it up, but he goes, I have set my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be the sign of the covenant between me and the earth. So it's him understanding that he had to do what he had to do, but it was last resort. He hated it for it. He hated himself for it, and he like, but he set himself right in that this is the last time I will ever do anything like that to the race of humans ever again, and the race of the world ever again, and to my kingdom.
Violence sometimes needs to be used as a last resort.
No, absolutely not. No, because God Himself is recognizing that wasn't the right thing. Wasn't the thing that He should have done. Like he said, this isn't at all what we should be doing here. Like just because I've done it, not as a hypocritical sense, but it's a He's using himself to go, all right, this is what we shouldn't be like. This shouldn't happen. It should never happen again, because it's such a, not a disgrace, but it's such a terrible idea, terrible thing.
At the expense of 90% of humanity.
Again, yes, correct, but he's teaching us that it's not the right thing. Dumbass.
Say that to my face.
Yeah, come here, mate. I'll fucking get you.
Shit.
You don't want it. You don't want it.
Are we ready?
You don't want it.
Oh, man. Is the pacifist gonna
Look at
fight,
you're a
mate?
pussy. Yeah, sit in the fucking bathroom like a fucking wank stain, mate.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
do something,
Oh,
motherfucker.
shit.
Yeah, really?
Oh,
yeah, don't get
shit.
me, motherfucker.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Yo! What the fuck?
Move the camera down.
Move the camera! We can't see!
Show us the action.
Get on the bed! No. Get on the bed, motherfucker! Holy shit! Holy shit! No way, bro!
Holy shit.
Oh my fucking god! Bro, you can't fight back!
Go, you can't fight back! You gotta run! Gotta
Run,
get yourself
girl,
out
run,
there!
Run!
De-escalate!
Run! Run! Oh shit! Oh, he threw a chair at him! What the fuck? Oh my god! Oh my
fuck!
What the fuck is happening?
god!
Oh my... I can't. My face is like fucking numb from laughing too much.
Bro! Oh my, he's tackling him, mate. Mate, he's fucking increasing the chance of violence where there was none, mate. How did he do that?
You can't just attack me. What am I fucking supposed to do? Fucking piece of crap.
Oh my god.
Going for the karate
flying
kick.
roundhouse kick him.
Just did a karate kick.
Flying roundhouse kick. Holy
That's so
shit.
fucked.
That's it. So fucking insane.
Oh my god.
Dude.
Fuck. I
What
got
the-
tears in my eyes from crying.
Bro.
Fucking hell.
Hey, are you guys alright? Fuck me, mate.
I don't think they are. Most entertaining stream and episode. That was actually a good episode. I like that.
Fucked up. Jesus Christ, the whole fucking place.
You right? Gail, are you good?
Okay, that's still going.
Tarkin, come back, bro. Go back to the bathroom, mate. Go back to the bathroom. Alright.
With that, I reckon we put a conclusion to the podcast, to the episode.
Even the pacifist still fucking held my own cunt.
Hey,
Oh my god.
Would you guys say that you guys have come to a reached a common ground in your understanding?
To be fair, I know you guys are saying that. I know you guys are fighting, but I think you guys do agree on a lot. Obviously, you both study martial arts. You know, both believe that violence isn't always the answer. I'm not really sure about how applicable that is to Tarkin, but you know, we say that violence always isn't the answer. But you know, I think overall, I think this has been a good conversation. You know, there are definitely ways to decrease violence. And
I obviously didn't do good there by calling him a wank stain and shit. So.
hey, yeah, that's all right, mate. That's all right. You know, I obviously didn't expect that one to happen, but you know.
Tempers flare. What can I say? I apologize. You know, I didn't. You know, not trying to do that. You know?
Yeah.
Happens.
Get yourself out of there, girl, next time.
So what'd you say, King?
Get yourself out of there, girl, next time.
What were you saying, Tom?
He had the door. I couldn't walk. Like he was there. I would have got out, man, but I couldn't.
Fun times.
Yeah, good conversation.
Yeah, that was good chat.
No.
Round 2.
Fucking, I've got this thing ready. I'm fucking.
I died at the flying roundhouse kick, mate. That was crazy.
Yeah, damn right, it's a fucking weapon. Kick the shit out of you with it, brother.
But let me ask you guys one more question. Have you guys learned anything from this discussion? Had a good time?
Yeah, he's a pussy. That's what I've learned. Yeah.
Any feedback?
No, it was a good podcast.
Yeah.
It was good. I liked it. It was well done. I think in terms of learning new things, I've learned that Tarkin's more of a meathead than I thought from previously. But no, it's good difference of opinion. Good.
Yeah, well, I reckon Gail and I'll go finish this conversation over a couple of beers.
Oh, yeah, it's 12 o'clock too.
That's a good idea, mate. Good idea, yeah.
Hey, and just before we finish, listeners of the podcast, if you guys have any opinions on this, if you want any of these lads back on for different topics you'd like to see them on, let me know. Let us know, and we can make it happen. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guests Tarkin and Gale, thank you for coming on with us. I really appreciate you both of your time, and you know, I think you guys have had a lot of interesting things to say. Yeah, and you know, it's very surprising that such different people can be friends, which I do respect a lot. Like you guys.
That's what makes our society run, Ollie. You know, you can't all have be like-minded individuals.
Well, that's the goal of this podcast, is to get people. I think this one showed us actually a lot. Like, you know, you can have a pacifist and you can have literally an MMA fighter, and both of them can be friends, even though you guys might have different opinions. I feel like a lot of people...
It came to blows too, but you know, like we could do that and still...
You know, hey, but you know, it was all good fun. It was all good fun. Fun. You didn't break anything, so it should be alright.
No, it was close.
Did you break it? It was close, but you know, I'm sure it was calculated by talking. At least I'd hope. Yeah.
Hey, go lie down on your tiny ass bed that's shorter than you.
Yeah, I don't know if the stream or the podcast is seeing this shit, but look at my fucking bed's there. I got Tarkin's on that one and the other mate's on that one. I'm taller than fucking both of them.
Little pussy bitch.
Man. Yeah, I wasn't such a bitch when I nearly fucking choked you out, cunt.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no, mate.
Anyways, we'll end the podcast there.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening.
Thank you guys.
We will not be paying for that. Yeah, thank you for listening and tuning in. And we'll see you in the next one.
All right, see you all later, guys.